Welcome back to the Door Kickers Player channel. This is the third mission. I do not have a replay of the second mission in Door Kickers. Again, this is the mobile video game. This is not the Steam game Door Kickers 2. This is the mobile game of Door Kickers. And also, I am not an expert on anything related to CQB or weapons or anything like that. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. That being said, let's get into it. All right. So this mission in particular, mock-up apartment, I kind of, again, this is a game, so this is not my first attempt at it. In my previous attempts, I tried going to this bottom left corner and clearing that first, like you would do in, I guess, a real life scenario. You would kind of want to clear that, make sure there are no bad guys there. But like I said in the first video, you have to sort of stay focused on what the game deems to be important. That's pretty much just the rules of the game. So in order to accomplish this mission in the amount of time in order to get the 3 stars, I had to ignore that and sort of just go for it and breach the interior. So as you can see here, I already have the two. We'll just call them soldiers. I think they're police officers in this game, but I'm not really sure, and I actually don't really care. Um, so we have these two soldiers here, and the green one, or the first one, is going to roll the outside sort of pie from the outside. This interior, and the other one is going to keep his eyes on the bottom left corner of the interior room here. And as you can see, we sort of roll that outside and it pays off. We do get to see that there is this tango in the back of that hallway, and we are a little bit injured. You can see there's a little bit of a blood spatter there, but Soldier 1 is fine, and we're not really going to pay much attention because we've got 2 weapons on this bad guy, and so we're going to continue breaching the interior. So we're going to take this guy down, and then we're going to roll the corners, make sure that those corners are empty. And here you can see we're about to breach this hallway, and this is one of the ways to clear a house is to keep one person. If you're doing a 2-man, it's to keep one person in each unsafe direction. So if what's behind these soldiers is cleared, then you don't need to keep eyes on it at all. And this is more of like kind of the fundamentals, but it's not really applicable in practice. And that's just because in reality, and I'm talking about in the reality of the game later on in the game, you're not always going to have everything behind you, behind your soldiers cleared. This also includes in real life, which is why I always, it's why I'm saying like, don't use this as a source for CQB. In real life, you don't know what's behind you. Somebody can come out of nowhere. You always have to check your six. And in the game too, we see that in later, more advanced missions where people will be behind you and you have to keep eye on your six. But for all intents and purposes, the fundamental is that you have one person looking one way, one person looking the other way, and you're sort of covering all of your unsafe areas at all times. And you can kind of see that with the light and the shadow in the game. I think that the game does a great job of explaining this concept of you know which areas are being covered and which areas aren't being covered. And you can see here the way that I'm having these soldiers move, sort of one at a time, but at the same time, and they're each pointed in a different unsafe direction. That's one of the fundamentals of CQB is, like I said earlier, keeping all your unsafe areas covered. And that's going to pay off right now because we have this guy on the left that we can already see. And if I would roll from the inside, from right here, then I wouldn't have the advantage of having seen him earlier and being able to take him out from the outside. It's kind of like pieing, um, from the outside, but doing it at the same time as breaching. So it's kind of like flowing from two sides of the door. That's basically what this concept is. So now that we have eyes on this tango over here on the left, soldier one and soldier two can continuously move. They're not sort of stuck on the outside because we have a flow pattern where one person is coming in one side, the other person is going in the other side, and keeping their areas covered. And because of that flow pattern, they can keep moving and they don't have to stop on the outside of that threshold. So as you can see, that paid off because we were able to move quickly into the next room and not wait outside in the hallway and get rid of that tango inside that room. And now that that person has been taken care of and that room was cleared fairly quickly, we can right away move on to the next room. Now, as we move on to the next room, you can see here the clear mistake that I made is I moved one person into the room instead of moving both of them into the room at the same time, and that mistake ends up costing one of my people to be injured. Now, this is where my brain went, "Oh, this is a game. This is not at all like real life," because the game just ends as soon as all the hostiles are down, or as soon as you have rescued all the hostages. Um, Not at all like real life. This is absolutely a game. Additionally, in the game, the soldiers can take a lot of damage, as you're going to see in the next videos. You're going to see my soldiers take on a lot of damage, and the game moves on because this is not at all like real life. This is 100% a game. If this was real life, it would be done very, very differently. Um, Another interesting point to make is that the reaction time of the soldiers is not extremely fast. You don't have, they're not, the game doesn't give you Navy SEALs and Navy SEAL reaction time. The game gives you a reaction time of whatever the game wants to give you. So you can't really rely on sort of the experience of the soldiers. Um, so yeah, the in order to eliminate any damage or injury to the soldiers, you kind of have to have two people for every one tango. And you're going to see that a lot in the next videos. So as you can see here, even though the tango went down, the tango still managed to injure one of my people. Regardless, I got the 3 stars, so I'm happy with it. And if you like the video, make sure to the like the video, click the like button, and if you want to see more, click the subscribe button. If you have any comments about what I could be doing better in terms of commentating, if you have any comments about things that I should try in the game, if you have any comments about things that I can improve on, like tactics, feel free to comment about those down below, and I'll see you in the next one.